All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem El Shai Bashem Chakadash, and giving double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who well, peace and salutation to elect. Yahweh is the true, almighty, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Bahashem is in the name. Yahweh Shai is the name of the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, who all even called Jesus Christ. Bashem Chakadash, name of the Spirit Holy. And of course, this is the brother here, the Mafpa from the Great Millstone Plaintables Camp of Philadelphia, coming with another wee lesson. We have it here, and a big trash, well, really it was a union strike by the District 33 Union here in Philadelphia, and they struck for, I believe, 8 days, and the outcome now is they have to vote on what was given as a tentative agreement by their union president. And some workers that I've seen have returned to work, in regards to sanitation. I've even seen some other workers that work, in different departments, having returned to work in some capacity, water department, crossing guards that have worked during the strike that I've seen. I'm not sure if they actually are represented by DC 33, if this particular one, but I actually seen with my own eye, interacted with one that was at that Mayfair school, Princeton and Hawthorne and such. And you have just this vibe in Babylon the Great overall of not having enough. So we're going to play this video here off the Associated Press archive, and this says trash concerns grow as Philadelphia city worker strike continues. This was on or published July the 12th, and it's currently July the 13th. Now the strike has ended, but you have it that the operations and such, under contract and such, that all has to be finalized and such. So we just gonna play this here.
I think she need to pay him. Inflation is up. The money ain't worth nothing. She make $250,000 a year. They gave her COLA. What you think about people that's making $48,000-$50,000 a year? You don't think they need a COLA too? Everybody need it, and inflation is out the roof.
Now everybody want to sound like or speak as what we've been speaking, and through starting of course from the top, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, or apostle elders, elder bishops, Akim, been speaking about the de-dollarization and money losing its value due to the amount of money that has been placed within the money supply. Okay, the creation of this money, these fiat banknotes are being pushed about, and the buying power just is at a loss. So most people are suffering, and then you have it where you have the higher ups, within these different administrations. They have white collar jobs, and they give themselves various bonuses to them, not only themselves but their own administration, their panels, and the rest of the workers on the front line that's actually doing the labor and such, and they're suffering. Okay. Now, I've seen and heard different, you know, opinions on this, but this is definitely true about the inflation and such. All right, so I'm gonna repeat and have the statement repeated again.
I think she need to pay him. You know, inflation is up. The money ain't worth nothing. She make $250,000 a year. They gave her a cola. What you think about people that's making $48,000-$50,000 a year? You don't think they need a cola too? Everybody need it, and inflation is out the roof.
And wait till you really see the inflation, really, and the hyperinflation that's gonna come, and the coming times. Okay, it could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be next month. You know, one event can make and drive up prices through the roof beyond what you have seen. Okay, and the scriptures talk about it real quick in Revelation, the 6th chapter. Revelation chapter 6, it tells you here, and in verse 5 it says, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. The black horse representing this inflation and hyperinflation. Okay. It says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts, say, a measure of wheat for a penny. Okay, a measure of wheat. Okay, and which you have a measure, which is, what's that, quinix. All right, which would be here, when you break it down, it would be as much as would support a man of a moderate appetite for a day. Okay, for a penny, which is a day's wage, right? You're going to a denarion. All right, which yeah, for a day's wage. Okay, now you go into it, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay, and what you're gonna see is that the money is that people are getting is not going to be able, the earnings that's coming in is not going to be able to support one's appetite and allow one to be able to support their families, to be able to sustain the living expenses that many people have, like housing and different utility bills, gas for your vehicle, car payments. Okay, most people are going to be swallowed up with this prophecy. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and 7. It says, all the labor of man is for his mouth, and yet the appetite is not filled. All right, and most people just want to eat. Okay, they want to eat at the end of the day. All right, appetite is napash. Napash is basically your soul. Okay, but you have it, yeah, the seat of emotions and passions. Okay, and desire. Okay, so all labor of man is for his mouth, and yet the appetite or the soul is not filled. Okay, it's basically dissatisfied at the end of the day. Malah means to be full, all right, or accomplished. Okay, I usually say that word after sometimes when I eat fed and I'm full, I'll say Inyam Allah Barakah Bashim Ashab Hashem Kakadash. I'm giving praise to the Lord. But yeah, so most of these people are gonna be unable to feed themselves. And that's why you have it that a lot of people choose just to be on those government programs so that they can have all the food, your SNAP, EBT benefits, and not have to work, because if you're working, the earnings they give you, if you're able to frugally manage it, you can sustain yourself, okay, by day, but it's a bit difficult. You're doing without certain necessities of life. Okay, so this is here where you see these men actually went and struck. This all prophecy again. So we're gonna play some more, and I'm gonna get maybe another precept. Wicked. I guess in Job. But then we'll get it right here.
Well, when you're trying to move 2,000 tons of trash per day,
and during the strike, they tried to do that at these sites with non-represented laborers from the city of Philadelphia, just non-union represented, and with other entities or different programs, same day pay. Okay, receiving $50 a day. You had, of course, different waste management companies and companies that have these different roll-off containers. You had many people that massive dumping, and the city tried to maintain it, which they did a failure at for the most part, which is all controlled by having workers have to that are non-union represented to clean these sites, which most of the sites damn near I would say 99% of the sites were destroyed. Okay. Minus one from first-hand knowledge, but we'll leave it at that.
it can get that way pretty quickly. I will tell you that we cleaned up that site in the morning, or one of the sites in the morning. In the afternoon, it looks like we weren't there.
Yeah, and that's true words from the individual that has spoken. Okay.
So we'll continue to increase that capacity of the amount of people that we have to try to reduce those piles and gain control of those sites. But the illegal dumping at that location is causing that problem to exacerbate, and we need to address that issue.
Now you see the order here. The only way to keep and maintain order is to enforce. Okay? Enforcing law and order. Okay, but you had it where there was no supervision, and hey, the people were completely virtuous for the most part. And they only, most of the contractors, and people that's out there hustling, they just had a field day. Okay, because these different laborers or sanitation, they specifically have convenience sites in which various trash and different hazardous waste items can be disposed of. Okay, but you had it where whole zip codes were told to go to different drop-off sites throughout the city or in their zip code closest as possible for them, and then they dumping everything in the kitchen sink. It just made it hard to manage, especially with nobody around it to make basically supervise what's going in, what can be put up there, and what could not. They told the people to go on their trash day. They went every day, a lot of them, and they brought other items other than what was just regular household trash. Okay.
It's operating the way we intended to operate at this location. People are placing trash inside.
Yeah, that's another company, non-represented labor is called Future Track.
At the dumpster, they're not full. You see, we have capacity down in these locations. Once this one's full, they get pulled. Another dumpster is dropped, and we want to continue to provide that cycle so that residents don't have to bear worrying about trash that is dumped around the site and around the location.
Yeah, Philadelphia is a great city, don't get me wrong. It's just that people have to work together, they have to come together. The citizens are starting to get frustrated. And
it appears to be South Philadelphia, but let me see.
It's getting out of hand now. Trash is all over the place in different areas. And people don't come out at night because you got all kind of bugs and rodents and raccoons and this and that. And we have to be careful, it's too much.
Yeah, and that's just that, man. But you have it. Individual president. He briefed about a coming vote, which I can't find that video. I think it's right here.
With that breaking news, the 8-day Philadelphia City Workers' Strike is over.
The union has reached a tentative deal with DC 33. Action News reporter Corey Davis is live in West Philadelphia.
And Corey, the union president gave the interesting and maybe somewhat confusing reaction to the deal.
Hey, good morning. So the union president is saying that he isn't happy with the deal, but decided to go forward with it because, according to him, he felt it was the best interest of his union members. So we do know that this deal is a 9% wage increase over 3 years. That is very close to the 8.75% that Mayor Sherrell Parker was pushing for, but a lot lower than the 15% the union was initially demanding. So once again, 9% over 3 years. We spoke with the union president after he left this building here following negotiations and asked him what's next for his members.
That your union stood up and fought for you, and we did the best we could with the circumstances we had in front of us.
What's in the best interest of your members?
To be able to earn a living for themselves and their families.
They're earning a living for themselves and their families, but it's just not enough. Okay?
So you're saying a 3-year deal?
Correct.
Are you at least saying that there was some kind of wage increase that was made?
There was.
You said that, and Chloe.
So you
said some kind of there was some, but is that gonna appease these union members? And as you can see, most of them have big appetites. Most of them are primarily overweight. Okay. You got women running recycling. Men they do the sanitation, just the regular trash too, and recycling. You got other parts of the union too, but overall, they got big appetites, man. You know, so is that going to be filled? And I doubt it. Okay. So, and this is Job chapter 20 and 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. When Esau is trying to establish his new world order, which he is, we're moving fast track ahead for the technocracy, which is governed by people and being surveilled, okay, and completely controlled by taking a C-hip, okay, the MOTB, which is the mark of the B, you know what it is, all right, Revelation 13 and 16 through 18, okay, you can start at 15 though, okay, where he calls it all small and great, rich and poor, free or bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, okay, that's it, going beneath their skin, all right, and that's going to be the answer to all of what he sees as a problem with the world, because he want total construction, he want total subjection and total control over all individuals and knowledge of all their movements and the ability to control all of their spendings, okay, all of the transaction, everything, okay. But in full of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and you see him in trouble, okay. When you have it where a city municipal government is choosing to strike and not work for Esau himself, you know, that already brought straits to the various communities within the city, okay, because now they have to do the job in which their tax-paying dollars is supposed to cover, but the laborers don't want to do the job because they don't feel like they're getting enough, all right, and it is not enough, okay, and they tax the hell out of you too. It says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now the wicked we're talking about are the laborers, okay, so you have it as Imal, which are the sufferers, the workmen, okay, and you see that, okay, you see the Israelites out there, okay, the workmen. So, you know, we see the end of all things at hand, and it will behoove you to take heed to this truth, all right, because as he have said
from us, biggest one of all is the health and welfare that they wanted to be able to essentially have control of, and we don't feel secure in having the city be able to control that situation for us. We have managed it very well. We've been very thrifty and been very cost effective, and what's the word the mayor likes to throw around? Fiduciarily responsible with that, and so we have maintained the ability to continue to do that.
I know when you came out of negotiations, you weren't happy. You said you weren't.
I'm not happy now. You know, that hasn't changed. You know, my job is to effectually try to get as many gains to my members as possible and try to.
He's a negotiator, and he wasn't able to get that done. So, you know, Babylon is through. So that's the lesson through the Spirit. Shalom to you.